Test. All right, everybody, welcome aboard the ship Sands. How y'all doing today? Good. Are you excited for the harbor tour?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you could be a little bit more excited. I said, are you excited for the harbor tour? Even the police are excited for the harbor tour. That's right. Welcome aboard. I am Simone, I'm your first mate, tour guide, hopefully best friend for the next hour. Much more importantly than me, of course, who's driving the boat? Now, y'all are very lucky. We have the best captain on the harbor. A very talented, lovely, amazing Captain Andrew. Give him a nice warm welcome.
Hi.
Now, Captain Andrew and myself are both licensed captains under Transport Canada, meaning we're trained in marine emergency duties, marine first aid, and CPR. My friends at the front, if you look beside you here, you can see some bright orange life jackets. That's right, the life jackets are at the front. Those in the back, you've made your choice. We also have life rings and a life raft, so if you don't like my tour, those are your options. Of course, I'm kidding. In the 10 years of our company history, we've never deployed any of these safety features, and we definitely do not plan on starting today. To avoid doing so, you are welcome to get up and walk around the boat. Please do not stand on any stairs, and be careful of the doors you entered on, of course. They're not fixed walls, and please keep all parts of your body inside of the boat. If you're at any of the windows, don't be leaning out too much from them. Don't want to have to jump in and rescue any of you on this lovely tour today. Also, one little note from my friends in the back, please remember that the walls do not meet the floor back there. So if you have any bags, valuables, children that you're fond of, please keep them on your lap so they don't join the collection at the bottom of the harbor. And with that, let's start the tours. On the right side of the boat here, you can see the beautiful harbourfront of Toronto. An amazing place to go for a walk, a bike ride, especially on lovely summer evenings like today. But it didn't always look like this. Prior to the 70s, it was super industrial. All factories pumping smoke and smog into the air, a gross place to ride your bike. But in the 70s, we did something called the Revitalization Project. So we picked up a lot of our factories, moved them to neighboring cities like Hamilton, gave them all of our pollution, and cleaned up our beautiful harbourfront for what it is today. We do have a few industrial relics. If you see that red brick building with a smokestack on the right there, it's called the power plant. And that's because that's exactly what it used to function as. It was a coal-burning power plant. Until 1988, we shut off the power, took about 10 years to clean up, and it now serves as a contemporary art museum. It's open every day but Monday, and it's free to the public, so if you don't like the art, you didn't pay for it. Right beside the power plant, we have that white, black, and gray building called the Harbourfront Centre. Used to be a big car and truck repair warehouse, but it's now a bunch of studio space for local artists. So you can walk around and see people do things like woodworking, glass blowing, pottery, jewelry making. It's kind of like an artist zoo. They're all in glass studios, so you can see them actually creating their art in there. Now this Harbourfront Centre, it's all part of a 10-acre public trust that aims to educate through the arts and culture. We are very diverse here in Toronto. 51% of the people that live in our city were not born in Canada, and there's about 180 languages spoken here. So we like to call this the cultural hub of our waterfront. If you see that's a Harbourfront Centre stage there, that is where we showcase a lot of our diversity through things like free movie nights, dance classes, yoga classes, concerts of all different genres. Just behind the stage we have a bunch of tents where we do a lot of food festivals as well from all different cultures. And like I said, everything at the Harbourfront Centre is free. So it's the best place in Toronto to bring a cheap date. Now right next to the stage you can see this white footbridge on the right as well. It's called the Amsterdam Canal Bridge. It actually was a gift to us from the city of Amsterdam. If you go over to Amsterdam, you can see the Toronto Bridge, and that's because we are in fact sister cities. So that represents the twinning of our cities. Now you might recognize this bridge if you've seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. This is where the two main characters.
Yeah.
Test. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is where the two main characters shared their first kiss in the Big Fat Greek Wedding on this bridge here.
That's nice.
Very romantic part of our tour. Even more romantic, this bridge is where Captain Andrew hopes to share his first kiss one day too. I know. Now if you cross the Amsterdam Bridge, you get to the Amsterdam Brew House. Not a gift from the city of Amsterdam. That would have been too cool. It is one of the largest pubs on our waterfront though. Seats about 1,000 people, 400 on the patio alone. For the past 3 years, it has been voted the best patio on our harbor, meaning our coast guards are stretched very, very thin. Our closest coast guard's 3 hours away, and we want to wait 3 hours in the case of an emergency. So we train police officers to do a very similar marine duty. They have high-speed boats that can get anywhere in this harbor or in the islands in just 2 minutes or less. Very fast reaction time. Now, of course, behind the police, we have a beautiful CN tower. I am going to wait to talk about that until we're on the other side of the harbor, just so you don't have to hurt your necks getting a good look. So for now, we'll talk about the shorter, chubbier neighbor, the Rogers Centre. Does anybody know what the Rogers Centre was originally called?
Skydome!
Skydome, that is correct. Thank you from the back. You sound like a local. Yeah, nailed it. It is called the Sky Dome. That's because if you see that white domed roof, it's comprised of 4 panels, 3 of which are retractable. So on a nice sunny day when there's a sporting event in our stadium, it takes about 17 minutes and $20 in electricity for those 3 panels to slide behind the huge Justin Bieber concert, number 3. Yeah, so we broke the wrestling streak, just not necessarily the embarrassing one, depending on how you feel about the Biebs. Now we've made a southern turn towards the islands. If you look out on the right, you can see the first of the 15 islands. This is called Airport Island, named so because it's home to the Billy Bishop Toronto City Centre International Airport. Very long name for a very small airport. This is Canada, 3 in Ontario alone. So I guess if you're an ace that many times, you get roughly the same amount of airports named after you. And those planes, you can see another one coming into land now as well. That's like the biggest airplane you'll ever see land here. Those are the 70 passengers aircrafts right there. And you might notice we're following around the path of these white buoys on your right. They read "Keep Out" in big black letters. Where that orange diamond is on the other side, it says "Danger, low-flying planes. Ships may not enter." And that's because everything inside of these white buoys is called our keep out zone, and it's all airspace for the pilots. So the planes do have to get very low to the water in order to touch on the runway almost immediately so that they can stop the plane before the water starts again, because that is not good for business out here. And we learned the hard way back in the 40s that tall ships and low-flying planes don't mix well. It was 1941, very low visibility day. It was very, very foggy, and at night, one of our planes was coming into land, and it could not see the runway at all until eventually it saw 2 lights. The pilot said, "Great, there's my runway, I'm going to land." What these pilots were seeing were not runway lights. They were the mast headlight and the stern light of a Toronto public ferry. A plane came into land on the ferry, the 2 collided. The pilots unfortunately did go down with the plane, but everybody on the ferry was okay. It was kind of a miracle. They bounced in the water, came back. There were injuries, but no loss of life. We did a bunch of repairs on that ferry, and it's called the Sam McBride. It's still in operation today. It takes people to and from the islands. It's one of our public ferries. So if we see the Sam McBride on our tour today, I'll be happy to point that out to you, as the boat that got hit by a plane in the 40s. You can check it out for any dents we might have missed. Now another fun fact about our skyline, we do have a lovely view of it right here. Most famous skylines like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they have a residential ratio of about 50 to 60%. So most of their skylines are going to be hotels, business buildings, lots of other tourist attractions, stuff like that. Now our skyline is 90% residential condo buildings. So most of what you're looking at here is all residential buildings, and somehow I still cannot afford a single one. Very, very expensive to live here in Toronto.
Oh, see? Very expensive.
That's true. I agree.
90% pala residential pala itong mga building na ito, no? Grabe.
Wala na.
Erode, constantly shifting, the very delicate forms of land. They eroded off of the Scarborough Bluffs, and they were originally one big peninsula, one big piece of land, and over time they've become these 15 islands that we know and love today. But that just goes to show how delicate this land is. So during a storm in the 1800s, the piece of land that this Hanlon family's house was on broke off, drifted down the harbor, and then touched shore here on Hanlon's Point. They got out of their house after the storm and said, "Nobody else is here, so I guess it's ours," which is exactly how most people claimed land back then. So they called this house their own, built a big hotel on this island, the Hanlon Hotel. And this was Toronto's main entertainment district in the 1800s. We had all your good nightlife, pubs, clubs, bars, casinos, amusement parks. We even had a circus out here. One of our main events was called horse diving, which is exactly what it sounds like. We train horses to walk up ladders and then jump off into the water here. Now, thankfully, we discovered animal rights. So we don't do that anymore. You can look it up on the good old internet. Our horses' names are King and Queen. There are photos of them jumping up into the water. Like I said, I am very glad Toronto treats their horses much better today, and we will not be seeing that on our tour. This entertainment district, it was very popular, not just for the people of Toronto, but also for our American friends down south. We had a free ferry that ran all the way from Rochester, New York to our islands, a 4-hour ferry ride for free, and that was during a little time called Prohibition. So prohibition, of course, the banning of alcohol. In the States, nobody could get a drop to drink. Here in Canada, we did have prohibition as well. It only lasted 2 years, so we were very lenient with it. We allowed the provinces to decide how strict they wanted prohibition to be. So here in Ontario, we kept red wine legal for its religious purposes. We saw a lot more people attending Mass in the 20s. Lots of converts for the wrong reasons. We also made a lot of money exporting beer. So the government told us we could brew the beer, we could export the beer, just please don't drink the beer. And that went about as well as you probably could have guessed. And then there was one other kind of alcohol that we kept legal, and that was for its medicinal purposes. Said to cure the common cold, the common flu. I still use it today for heartache, and that was whiskey. So if you're from Rochester, New York, you'd hop on that free ferry on Friday, come out to Toronto, find a doctor, say you had a bit of a stomachache, get prescribed a nice big bottle of Canadian whiskey, head out to the islands, watch some horses die, drink your medicine, and then you'd head back home on Monday, supposedly cured of your illness, with a little island souvenir we like to call a hangover. So that was very popular out here. Hamlin's Point's also famous for another reason. Do we have any baseball fans on board? The other one's in British Columbia. Before any of you start squinting too hard, we're not going to take you past the new beach on our tour today. It can be a bit of an unpleasant sight. If you would like a pleasant sight, please look out the left side of the boat. Captain's been so kind as to line us up with the skyline framed by our islands. We're going to drift here just for a minute, let you grab some quick photos, and we'll be right back on our way. Enjoy, guys. Now, these are not the only island residents that we have. We do have 262 houses containing around 700 people on the easternmost islands, Wards Island and Algonquin Island. Now, you might think that sounds pretty nice. You know, maybe you want to be an island resident. Sounds like a nice life. I do have to warn you, it is not that easy. Our islands here are owned by the federal government, and they get leased to the city of Toronto for $1 every year. We have a special 99-year land lease with our government. We only have about 70 years left. After that, they're going to demolish the homes out there. Like I said, we get leased to the city of Toronto for $1 every year, special 99-year land lease, only about 70 years left. After that, they're going to demolish it and put in more park space. That means that these people don't own any of the land. They're only selling the structure of their house. So they can't put their house up on the open or public market. It has to be done through a lottery system. So if you want an island home, you pay a fee, you enter a lottery. If you win that lottery, lucky you get put on a wait list. It's a wait list of about 50 names. You have to pay an annual fee to keep your name on the wait list. Once you reach number 1, they'll offer you the first house that becomes available. If you don't like that house, you can say no. They'll offer you the second house that becomes available. If you don't like that house, well, too bad, so sad, you get kicked off the wait list. You're too picky to be an island resident. That wait list is an average of 40 years. So if anyone's had a newborn, we're about 58 minutes and she did not fall once. There was one man who went up and down the CN Tower stairs 17 times in one day. Sounds like the world's worst day. No idea why he did that. There was 2 professional movers as part of a marketing stunt. Moved a 500-pound piano to the top of the CN Tower. Still up there. Nobody has offered to take it back down yet. And of course, someone said it the fastest. His name is Brendan Kenoy, volunteer firefighter and triathlete. Now, to give you a frame of reference, it takes the average person about 40 minutes to climb the CN Tower stairs. Now, when they were open, lots of athletes loved them to train. They would run the stairs. It took about 20 minutes. It's a very good time for if you're physically fit. Brendan Kenoy did it in 7 minutes and 52 seconds. It's been 30 years. No one's come even close to beating his record. And if you look at